The ocean almost never kills you instantly. That's what makes it worse. It gives you time to realize what's happening, time to understand you made the wrong decision, time to feel control slipping away, and no way to stop it. In October 2015, a massive cargo ship sailed directly into a hurricane. Not by accident, not because it didn't know the storm was there, but because, step by step, decision by decision, it believed it could still make it through. The ship was called El Faro, and every one of the 33 people on board died. This wasn't the 1800s. This wasn't a wooden ship lost to myth. This was a modern American cargo vessel. Radar, weather reports, professional crew, experienced captain, and still, it sailed into Hurricane Joaquin. That's what makes this story dangerous, because nothing about it feels impossible. It feels like something that could happen again. El Faro left Jacksonville, Florida on September 29, 2015. Routine run, Jacksonville to Puerto Rico. Cargo loaded, crew ready. Just another trip. But out in the Atlantic, something was already building. A storm. At first, it didn't look catastrophic. Storms form all the time. Ships deal with them constantly. You don't cancel every voyage because of bad weather. That's not how shipping works. But this storm didn't stay normal. It strengthened. And more importantly, its path became uncertain. That's where danger starts. Not when a storm is obvious, but when it's unpredictable. Because unpredictability creates hesitation. And hesitation is where people lose their margin. The captain of El Faro, Michael Davidson, had decades of experience. He knew storms. He knew this route. He had likely made calls like this dozens, maybe hundreds of times. And that experience matters. But it can also become a trap. Because when something has worked before, you start to believe it will work again. Even when conditions are different. Even when the risk is increasing. Even when the timeline is shrinking. El Faro continued south. The storm intensified into Hurricane Joaquin. Forecasts shifted. The predicted path changed. And now the ship wasn't just near bad weather. It was moving towards something much worse. But here's the part most people don't understand. Ships don't operate in clean, obvious moments of danger. There's no alarm that says, turn around now or die. Instead, it's gradual. The route still looks possible. The storm still looks avoidable. The ship still feels capable. And every hour you continue, turning away becomes harder. Longer route, delayed cargo, operational pressure, and a growing belief that you're already committed. That belief is deadly. Because once you convince yourself you're committed, you stop looking for exit points. You start looking for ways to justify continuing. That's what likely happened here. El Faro pressed on. Closer. Closer. And then the ocean started pushing back. The seas built. The wind increased. The ship began to feel the storm. This is where reality starts replacing confidence. Because the ocean doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care how experienced you are. It doesn't care how many times you've made the trip. It only cares where you are when it arrives. And Joaquin arrived hard. By early October 1st, El Faro was in extreme conditions. Hurricane force winds, massive waves, relentless motion. But even then, the situation might still have been survivable. Until something else went wrong. The ship lost propulsion. And this is the moment everything changes. Because a ship without propulsion is not just in danger. It is exposed. Completely. A powered ship can fight the ocean, angle into waves, maintain stability, reduce roll, control its position. A powerless ship becomes a victim of motion. It can turn broadside. It can roll violently. It can't escape the worst of the waves. And once the rolling increases, everything inside the ship starts working against you. Cargo shifts. Water moves. Balance changes. Stability disappears. That's exactly what began happening on El Faro. The ship developed a severe list. Water entered spaces it should never reach. The crew reported flooding. And now the situation wasn't just dangerous, it was collapsing. What makes this even more disturbing is how calm the early reports sounded. Not panic, not chaos. Professional voices, measured descriptions, trying to diagnose, trying to fix, trying to regain control. That's how people die at sea. Not screaming first, working first, believing they can still recover. Because once you admit you can't, you're admitting something far worse, that you're out of time. El Faro sent a distress signal, loss of propulsion, flooding, listing. 3 words that, together, form one of the worst scenarios possible in a storm. Now imagine the environment. Pitch black. The ship rolling harder every minute. Water where it shouldn't be. Machinery failing. The sound of metal under stress. The sound of cargo shifting. The constant impact of waves. And outside, a hurricane tearing the surface of the ocean apart. There is no easy escape from that. Lifeboats become nearly useless in those conditions. Launching them can be as dangerous as staying aboard. Rescue helicopters struggle to even reach the area. Other ships can't just arrive instantly. And time is gone. That's the part most people never fully grasp. At sea, when things go wrong like this, there is often no second chance. No reset. No pause. Just escalation. Faster than you can solve it. El Faro continued to lose stability. The list worsened. Flooding increased. And at some point, the ship crossed a line it could not come back from. It sank. All 33 people aboard were lost. No survivors. The wreck was later found on the ocean floor near the Bahamas. And when investigators began piecing it together, the most unsettling conclusion wasn't that something mysterious happened. It's that everything made sense. Too much sense. A storm that intensified faster than expected. A route that slowly became dangerous. A decision process that didn't adjust fast enough. An aging ship with vulnerabilities. A loss of propulsion at the worst possible time. A chain reaction that removed every remaining option. That's how real disasters happen. Not one mistake. A sequence. Each one narrowing survival until there is none left. And maybe the most important lesson from El Faro is this. The ocean doesn't just punish bad decisions. It punishes delayed decisions. Waiting too long to turn away. Waiting too long to reroute. Waiting too long to accept that conditions have changed. Because once your margin is gone, there is nothing left to work with. This is the same pattern seen in lifeboat disasters, in shark incidents, in survival stories across the ocean. People don't die because they didn't know there was danger. They die because they believed they still had time. El Faro is a modern reminder of that truth. 33 people trusted that the situation was still manageable, that the ship could handle it, that there was still room to adjust. But the ocean had already decided otherwise. And once it does that, there is no negotiation, no second chance, no forgiveness. If this story hits you, subscribe for more real ocean survival and maritime disaster breakdowns. Because the most dangerous thing about the ocean is not the storm you see coming. It's the moment you realize you waited too long to avoid it.